We may not have sports to watch, but athletes, a number of them are stepping up in a big way to help during this time. One of them is Anquan Boldin, a former NFL wide receiver, three-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, in my humble opinion, should be a future Hall of Famer as well. But he's the co-founder of the Players Coalition. It's an organization focused on social justice and racial inequality, and now they are shifting their focus to the fight against the coronavirus. And Anquan Boldin joins me now from his home in Florida. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks so much for your time this morning. Walk us through this new initiative, this donation that the Players Coalition has decided to make to a number of states.
Yeah, I think a number of players in the NFL have been doing things already on their own, whether it was personally or through their foundations. But us as a coalition, we wanted to step up and make an impact as well. We had previously focused our attention on educational equality, criminal justice reform, and police community relations. But when the pandemic hit, that kind of switched a little bit, and we knew that we had to do something, seeing how communities, especially minority communities, are suffering. 7
locations, as I understand it, that you guys decided to focus on. Among them, 2 of the cities in which you played, Baltimore and Detroit, but also Atlanta as well. How did you guys decide on these specific cities, and where is the money going to go specifically?
Yeah, for us, we were seeing the numbers when you're talking about African-American communities and how we're being affected by it, and the resources that we don't have. So we wanted to, as a coalition, put resources where they're needed. And the organizations that we picked out were organizations that we work with personally, organizations who are feeding people who really need it, organizations in Detroit like We the People, who are making sure that people just have the basic necessities like running water. We also provide money to food banks, as well as to healthcare facilities so that people can have PPEs.
While I have you here, as you know, there continues to be conversations had about when we should return to normal with regards to our professional sports in this country, when the NBA should go back, when Major League Baseball should start up again. How should the NFL decide when to start practicing and playing again?
I think you only do that when it's safe for everybody. I don't think you have to put people at risk just to, put a sporting event on television. I say if it's not safe for anyone, it's not safe for anybody. So if the rest of the country isn't opened up, I don't think you should put sports back on.
How are you and the family holding up during all of this there in Florida?
We're doing pretty good. I had my grandmother just get out of the hospital a couple of days ago. She was fighting COVID. Thank God she recovered from that. But other than that, I think we're doing pretty good.
Okay. While I have you here, let me ask you about the news of the morning with regards to sports. Perhaps you've heard that Rob Gronkowski has decided to join his old teammate Tom Brady there in Florida, playing for Tampa Bay. Do they immediately become Super Bowl contenders, Anquan?
Most definitely. I think the Buccaneers, they had a pretty good nucleus in place, and then you get Tom Brady in through free agency, and now you have Gronkowski coming in on a trade. I think that city's pretty excited. I think a lot of people like their chances to make it to the Super Bowl, although they are playing in a tough division. I think, they have some proven winners on that team.
NFC South is no joke. Gronk comes out of retirement. Maybe Anquan Boldin, too?
Nah.
No? Okay.
Nah, I'm gonna stay retired.
Well, you're doing great work, and again, thanks for your time this morning, and thanks for all that you guys are doing with the Players Coalition in this fight against coronavirus. And by the way, you can find out more information on the Players Coalition on our website, thirdhourtoday.com.